deep aggressive things. Honestly, if I'm KC, I wouldn't even mind just Levin switching to Jet. Like, I know that teams putting a lot of work into the strategy, and they think that like they really need to kind of not waste all that time. But sometimes, you know, a player, it's just the writing's on the wall in the officials. Once you get to the official and you see something's working or not working, that switch. And we're not going to see the switch. Levin's going to be here. So KC, I'm looking for a bit of an improvement on those entries.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think something that we need to see is more support from Aves, from Shadows as well. I think they kind of all need to be on the same page this time. I think looking at Team Liquid's composition, we're actually going to see Purple pick up the Fade, and it's looking as though it's going to be Camo and Miniboo on the double duelist.
And we're seeing a bit of a Nat speech there. He looks a bit animated, so nice to see him there. And on Team Liquid side, yeah, it's the Team Liquid composition at this point, one that they're very comfortable with. I honestly think it's the best composition on this map, and was last year, and it still is this year probably. So yeah,
Tell me why.
Why is it good? That's very good. That's very good. Astra's being played. Yeah, you know I love an Astra. I think on Split, Omen's Paranoia is not very useful anymore. I think Astra is just very good at the cross map. I think the map lends itself very well to the double dive, and so both Yoru and Raze there, I think the best at going out of those entry points on Split.
I think my only question for Team Liquid is finding Camo back on that duelist. Of course, this was something that he played last year. He has plenty of reps on it, but we've known him as being that more initiator this time round for Team Liquid this year, so it's whether or not he can get back into that kind of duelist mindset.
Yeah, and it's whether or not Liquid can stay alive in this best of 3 with the second map coming up now against KC, who do find themselves in the lead as we're heading into Split with our casters, Tom and Mitch.
Well, I don't think there's going to be any debate about who has the momentum by their side, by their backs coming into this one. I mean,
this map won for Liquid. If they weren't there,
I feel like it's half 2 for us. I mean, for KC though, this is where they struggled. Albeit, as you said, it was 13-11. It was both pistols being lost to get there.
If it's that close and you struggle,
yeah,
you're doing something right.
Like, I think in terms of there was a lot to improve in terms of how they breathed in the rounds, and to make it that close, with that considered, to run into full utility site stacks and still win the rounds late on, sure. What can you do from there, though? The building blocks actually landed in an okay spot, but now we refine it. And for KC, coming off the back of a 13-2, if they were to look stellar on Split, I think this would be the time.
But yeah, the worry as well is for Liquid, they just looked a mess. Like, I feel like it's less about, like, if KC just shoot, and it's like the last map, they'll win. Like that's enough. Like, I need to see so much more from Liquid, like not bumping into each other, not forgetting the players are on sites. Like,
I guarantee they won't push each other off the map.
Yeah, no one's going to fall off the map.
Help you that way.
If they do, impressive.
Yeah, if they do, we've got much bigger problems. For KC, the defense, and lots of players. Just look at A Heaven right now, where this drone is running through. There are 3 players there, with one close by in mid. It was Vance just moments ago. And yet still, the opening duel goes to Team Liquid with the 2-man push-up ramp. They find a kill. They keep these 3 players in position. And now the other side of the map is looking juicy. It could be wide open for Liquid to walk into. Just Doja in their way, and they even get Sugetsu on the cross.
Yeah, the question now is, do they, because they've just seen him come from the other side of the map, so they want to gamble back the other way. My only worry is if they forget where Dosia is again. That's probably the only thing that could be a problem for them. But with 35 seconds left, they are going to be walking into a couple of players. Aves still has a salvo and his stun available, which could make things a little... No flashes, though, which is good, because they're really getting owned by that. And in the meantime, Nat said she's going back the other way. He's walking into his old teammate of Shados, but this is where the last 2 really shouldn't be able to get anything done. In fact, they can now just look to full sprint all the way to the other side of the map and get themselves a free plant on A. There will be enough time to get there, thankfully, unless he trips.
Yeah. If there was like a miracle grab well from downtown, could change the game, but no. Obviously, it's not going to happen. Aves and Doja, no control over this entire half of the map. I mean, fog of war, no matter where they walk, the police spotting Camo. They're going to walk slowly towards him. The time here already becoming an issue, considering they have to deal with 4 players, considering it's an open plan for Heaven, considering they haven't gone Heaven, so they don't have control up there, and the utils being burned just to get onto site. I don't think there's many chances of this going the way of KC. Camo waiting. He will falter on the first fight, and some damage done, but the clock, as well as the HP, has decided this one.
Yeah, Ava's actually still killed the guy in Heaven, by the way. So he's really popping off individually, but a much better round from Liquid. I like that. That slower style of Nat's play where it's like he's giving himself space to sort of have some of those individual moments. Like there was a time, and I think it would still be arguable that this guy on Viper is second to none. Like with what he's able to create in terms of his own space across the map, and the fact that they get the openers and no one's like running in and just like doing something silly. Everybody was on the same page.
You heard a lot of the conversation about, you know, when you're the underdog, how easy the games are, and I think teams like GX kind of experiencing the other end of that this year. When people know you're good, they really give you the respect. They really learn how you play, and then they really try to deal with that. They come in with a counter. For Nats, what was impressive about him for so many years, we knew he's one of the best, if not the best in the world on this. We knew every single game he will be behind you. It doesn't matter what's happening in the round. If you saw him in front of you 3 seconds ago, he's behind you now. People knew that. He'd still get behind them every round. I mean, it was just at the highest level. It was surreal to see him have that much success.
Yeah.
This is awful. Liquid are running into the A site. They're going in blind, and there's 5 players here. KC with a full gamble. And
they've got a man on the other side of the map.
Thank God.
That's the thing, it's Camo. They sent Camo in with a pistol on the other side, and he has just gone, there's no one here. So there was at least a small piece to the plan that was, okay, we're going to barrel one direction and see if you can find a gap elsewhere. He has found that gap, and now the danger is completely negated in this round. There is no hope. I would be surprised if there's even damage. It gets to a point where you might even suggest that KC should just go down to the spike.
30 seconds left. Spike planted.
I think that's very arguable looking at the composition as well in play for Liquid. Like, there's almost nobody that you're going to give an orb to and think, oh, well, that doesn't really matter. Even on the attack, Cosmic Divide can completely rip up your defensive setup. So I don't think that it's going to be worthwhile.
Both Heaven executes with a Cosmic Divide.
Exactly.
It makes it so hard to defend. So, yeah, I think, obviously for Liquid, send out the pistol players. Send out Nat, send out Purpo, or even swap the rifle over. And
well, yeah, Camo had a pistol before, right?
Yeah.
They've given it over for the orbs. Orb preference.
And let them try and find the orbs. And for the other side, yeah, it's just not worth giving anything up. A chance, maybe. Okay, Purpo's going to get one. Nats as well. Get towards that Viper's pit, but very little to lose. They're going to continue to try and push forward, and he still gets an orb in the end. It's not too bad for either side. A little bit of extra cost, but for Liquid, the goal was just to keep everything onto the board. That will now be 2-0 for Liquid.
And it's a great bounce back after what was a tough start to the previous map. Again, going 2-0 down, looking like the third should be theirs, running into 2 players on the side who had low econ and losing it. We really needed that injection of morale, I suppose, for that Team Liquid side. And I think there's a lot to speak of in terms of how they've performed in that first map, how they've underperformed the disadvantages that were in play. But if they can manage to bounce back here on their pick, we can forget about that movement into the third. And Miniboo was one of those factors that was, he was getting shut down by 11, 7-2 in head-to-head. He's made that one look easy. And you know what, Tom? For an eco round, KC, you could say that was all right.
Yeah,
if it was an eco round.
I was about to say, they kept the 3 rifles and then they bought up 2 more. It's like the classic second round buy that works out wonderfully for if you manage to keep all of your players alive, which they did. And then for the execute there, like the reveal from Purpo, just, I don't remember who it was in the sort of left corner, but they just got absolutely boomed immediately. And then Miniboo with an almost wild spam takes out Dossier as well. So a complete change of fate from what we've seen in the last map, a very quick start for Team Liquid. And as you were sort of saying, I think that's a really important thing for them after getting battered in a map like that, to then have that, okay, this is our map choice, we're off to the races, let's forget everything that just happened.
Oh yeah, like I said, for Levin and Miniboo, that was the head-to-head we talked about coming into the previous map. In terms of duelists, they're the ones you expect to see putting up the numbers, and they came up against each other 9 times, and Miniboo won 2 of them, which is not great.
Levin just got manipulated. This is second kill. Full sprint spraying. Like, I felt like it shouldn't work like that, but they're going to take it all day long.
Let's go!
Let's
go.
Good. Get good. It could have been. Get the round.
Get flipped.
Could be. He's a big Tony Hawk fan.
Yeah.
I like it. A little ollie in there. Sure. Well, a 3-0 start for Team Liquid. And I see that timer frozen up top. it going to go red or is it a tactical? I mean, a tactical would be very early at this point. I don't think KC
We had one in the last.
should worry too much. But then you look at how quickly they lost the last round with rifles in. I mean, it genuinely, the reason I said it is like it really looked like if you had just a mini map, you go, oh, it was an eco round. No worries. But then no, they had full rifles and barely managed to make a dent in the attack of Team Liquid. Again, kind of a shoe on the other foot type of situation from what we saw in the previous map.
Back in. Whatever it was, it seems like it was solved very quickly. For KC, unfortunately, they've got this one completely wrong. Dosia is completely alone. This would have to be one of the most impressive Bucky plays we've ever seen, and that includes Mr. VALORANT last year. Stuck in the smoke, he'll get one, and his teammates are nowhere to be seen. They were all pushing down the ramp on the other side of the map, looking for information, maybe hoping they'd run into a player. Instead, wow, Shados has got a rifle. Like, if they could get a kill quick, maybe they go for this. Otherwise, it probably is, unfortunately, a very exciting round of dying to the spike.
And we saw Miniboo, the one to pick up that plant and the orb as a result. Showstopper's online, which just means in terms of safety nets, that was the rifle. In terms of safety nets, so much more there for Liquid to fall back on. Nade is thrown in perfectly as well. I mean, that just completely segmented in defense on their way through, and they have made that look easy peasy with 3 players left alive. A 4-0 start for Team Liquid, night and day compared to map 1 where they struggled to find an open duel for the most part.
Yeah, I think for Camo, he's probably just happy to have something to do. Those are his first 2 kills the last 2 surrounding. He's not really needed. Like, normally you have the, okay, we've got this double duelist, we get a 1-2 punch. You go in, and then you're going to get shot in the face because you're flying through the air at a million miles an hour, and then I TP in behind and kill them all, and then Miniboo's just been getting the entries, and then they save. So, no real surprise that we are now going to see that tactical break coming out from KC, even. It's almost identical to what happened in the last map without the huge stinger play that came through from Camo. But yeah, it's been a rough start, and a lot of what we've seen is just some nice executions out from Liquid, very direct in the way that they've been playing, having a lurker just to spot if there's been a stack elsewhere, but I don't think they've really been broken too much. It says it's KC. Oh wait, yeah, of course it is, sorry. I'm still thinking of the last map. I genuinely, I was so, yeah, they're so dominant, it's like, yeah, they're the ones that must be winning this. No, of course it's a KC timeout. My brain is a brain fart.
I've been there. That for KC, as we said, you know, that 3-0, I wasn't too surprised to see them go a little leg farther, but coming into this bye round, losing here, putting yourself to another low bye, mixed bye, it's going to just give Liquid way too much of a leg up for you to feel confident that Split is still in contention for you. It's time to fight here and now on the defense. Aves still in the spawn. Wants to be close by wherever that utility comes through, and they've heard it right away on A. So they're going to have that 3-man rotate very early on. The util thrown out, Liquid full committing. Here comes the showstopper, found nothing, great flash! The drop not so much, but Aves safely down below is able to pick off one. He's taking a while with the ultimate, but it's fired up and it will be fired in, causing problems, splitting the attackers, but Purple landing the double, puts them back to a 2v2. And Doge is just so reliable. They've now spotted Wayne too. A 1 versus 2, Levin and Doja, the last players you want to be up against.
One thing he does have is time, but it's a more direct attempt, and they're going to be able to swing back together. I thought maybe try and split through heaven and just find a bit more of a gap, but not going to be the case. KC have found themselves around, and I definitely think having Aves there a little bit sooner was a good position to put themselves in. But you're right, just the amount of delay that was brought by Shados and these flashes. I'll be honest, this is one of those moments where it does bring me back that little bit of Gambit nostalgia. Seeing Shados back on the flash initiator of Sky as an agent that it's kind of dead, I'm not gonna lie. We didn't see it for a long, long time, and also he was playing Sentinel in some of his previous teams, but I don't know. That gave me a little glimpse of the magic we know Shados can bring.
That was nice too, dealing with the double dive, the flash to take out the first, the drop in from Aves, the early rotation that got Camo, the Yoru, as he came through. Team Liquid
Cutting through.
Already gate crash taken to backside, and I think Camo's going to give away the fact that he's here. He's got an escape. He wants to use it, but Nightfall put through. No, now it's time to fight. Flash to the backside, presumably big swing in from Miniboo. They cleared it completely open as KC sit back, allow this space to be taken, and look to punish over aggression. But for now, the attackers give them none. It's going to have to be the retake.
On the last map, this was where they were thriving. Their retakes were fantastic. They've got the divide to try and section things out. Miniboo's though, he's going aggressive. Gets caught. Shados looking after his duelist will give them that man advantage. Pop flash down, leaves a couple blind, but Purpo dodged it. Can't get anything more. Shados with another multi-frag, but it's now left onto, well, the man you'd want. The problem is they were defusing, and he hasn't been able to stop them.
Yeah, he's behind this time, but behind a cosmic divide. So that's a bit of a problem. A second on the board for KC, heating up. And Shados, the man who, by the way, it was split. It was his Sky that looked abysmal last week. He really struggled to get anything done. He was being bested consistently, and now, I think it was actually, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it was. It was Xiao who was shutting him down 9-1 in head-to-head duels.
Not bad.
Xiao was obliterating him. And now look at him. Shados on fire down on that stage. He's given KC a lifeline early.
Again, looking solid in the retakes. Team Liquid not looking to break their trend though. It's a split around middle, but the early contact hasn't quite found what they wanted, denied by the orb. It's obviously a pretty big risk to try and go through the other side, and you can actually see the Seekers are going to give the game away, that they are still in this position. 4 players even built up for the defense, waiting on this angle.
Flash primed and ready again. It lands, but Sugetsu had already taken one before the blind came through. The double duelist, the double dive, will they have
a lot
fallen?
of space on A.
Flat on their face. Yeah, a lot of space on A, but with a 5 versus 2, Sky heal for Levin as well. They'll be happy to play the retake. They've looked good even when the numbers are even.
Check every angle. Shados is like, check everything. I know this man. Yeah. I know he's here somewhere. I can smell him, he's breathing, but even still he comes out all for a moment. I think Avaz was in the drone, by the way.
Yeah,
if he gets the kill on Shados, he gets the kill on Avaz. That could have been all over. That was closer than maybe you'd realize, but now it shouldn't be as much of a worry.
Well, yeah, 4v2. You would think so. Purpo and Wayne. The plant. Look how deep on the side it is as well. Still a star to play with for Wayne. If he survives, where is it? Shit. He's dropped down. He's looking to hold the line. He's been stunned. He dodged it. Up close in the smoke. Here's the steps. One's waiting, though. The cross spotted by Purpo. He needs that cover. This is why Wayne dropped down. But that smoke's going to fade. Wayne needs to be so quick to the trigger. And he'll land. But Purpo's fallen. And oh, just a little bit late in getting the grab well into play. That will cost the round for Team Liquid. It will allow KC to close in the gap. And now they're behind by just 1.
It's unfortunate because his opponent knew where Purpo was, didn't know where he was, so he just kills Purpo and then gets traded, and by that point, there's nobody able to deny them just getting onto that defusal for the majority. Like, this is the fight, you see, immediate trade back out. Well, there are opportunities, but obviously after that initial fight with Sugetsu and the 4-man stack up, a good read, a good mid-round call from the side of KC. That 4-0 start has quickly diminished. Now, there's still credits to play with. There's still a Dimensional Drift. There's still a Viper's Pit. You get into that post plant, and it's a tough retake for KC. But I will say, KC's retakes on this map and the last have looked very, very good. I'm looking at Levin with his... Okay, here we go. I was expecting maybe for a retake, but no, he's going to use the Convergence path now. I don't know if anybody's really been caught by this, though. Not sure about this one. Then they go 1 by 1 into the angle after.
Closed.
Oh, I really don't like what I just saw. For KC, they have overheated. They have really overheated. And I guess they thought that Team Liquid were further up mid than they were, assuming they were taking the space to fight, when in fact they were still back far, so they could very easily avoid that ulti. Doja, you know what? Just end the game now if he wins that one. It's been too good. 3-5 and a solution found by Liquid, but the solution was kind of just to punish a very brazen play by their opposition.
I can understand it. Like, you heard the ult side listed out, like Dimensional Drift and that Viper's Pit. you know that if your opponent's getting to a post spawn, it's going to be very, very difficult. So you try a risky play.
Just a little smoke on one side there, Tom. Just the only criticism is there's two angles. You can maybe just smoke one of them and then see how it goes. But, you know.
He's on the right side, so he thought the guy's on the left. When the right side can't fight him, so he was like, oh, the one's on the left, so I'll go for
that guy on the left, no problem.
And then Kama killed them all.
Yeah, it didn't look like no problem.
No. You saw Zeiss's reaction. He was happy with that.
Oh, goodness gracious. Camo does well to at least cover off that second player. The trade out comes in.
Heal up, squad.
Heal for Sugetsu. Just about made it out of there with that Viper's Pit online. They'll need that full health if it's to be used. And it might be needed in the counter pit. With Nats having his online, they'll move towards this B site. And again, put pressure onto Doja. His teammate quite far away. And even walking out of spawn now presents a risk. Aves can't join up. Doja's going to hold the line by himself. We've seen him do this with the Bucky. Deep reveal. Prowler gone close. Oh, he's gone through the smoke. Okay, well, Casey, you know, maybe another timeout would be nice.
Yeah. He definitely only thought there was one there.
Or he's waiting for a second Prowler, just get ahead of it, you know?
And then Miniboo's managed to make his way around behind. A lot of space left. A lot of gaps exploited. Well, now that Viper's Pit, even in the 2v4, still going to utilize that Viper's Pit. Liquid realizing how important it is to sort of confirm this round, especially with the credits that are available for the side of KC. You don't want to allow them anything back into this one. Sugetsu, though, see, that looked like he's cheating. But obviously, that guy is through a wall. He was never going to kill him. It looked like he was. And we should check him PC. But for Sugetsu, this one's free. That's nice. Wayne just a little bit unaware of how much ground had been lost. Maybe expecting Purpo to be watching that. The problem now is they do have to leave. Time's just not there. Clearing things out is going to be impossible. And there's Purpo in the end, swinging out and killing off Shados. It's a singular gun kept through. It's going to make the bye very awkward for KC in the next round. And for Liquid, hey, they're going to take that all day long, reconfirming, re-extending their lead, getting themselves out of sight.
I think for Team Liquid, 6 already on the attack, but this
surprise.
This was a little bit ludicrous, but I do think that a lot of that comes down to the fact that, you know, he'd just seen a Prowler, he'd seen a Honk go through, and from our perspective, I believe Purpo was out of Prowlers, but you don't know that. And you just assume the second one's coming to clear the smoke, I'll get taken down.
Or he thinks, like, this is a fake. There's one guy throwing util. I'll get the one guy, and then he sees 3.
Could be.
But that's a gamble when you don't have that info.
Yeah.
When you don't know that there could... How many there could be behind that?
Oh, and also to give him even more credit, they had also taken sight behind him. At that point, Aves was locked out. So, you know, had to do something, didn't make the right call. Aves, though, has made the right call here by ripping Miniboo's head clean off. Amo's going to try to make something out of this ult now that they've got that man disadvantage, but up against the pistols, it might not be worth the big risk.
Yeah,
he bails out.
Everything. This is a full set of ults. That was a Nightfall, a Dimensional Drift, and a Cosmic Divide. And they're only just getting into heaven. Like, there's a real opportunity here. Flash through, it's been dodged. Nice work from Sugetsu. The 2 rifles really doing the damage in this round. Nats is trying to fight everybody at once, and hey, he gets 2. Oh, Alpha Purpo, it's just not pretty. He's lost a battle with the Bandit. And while what was meant to be Team Liquid getting out of sight, KC have managed to break back immediately.
That was night and day there. Purpo is currently top of the board. He's a little shaky on that fight mid, but Nats, oh my goodness, that was so clean. Swings out, quick headshot on the first, gets the second, but there were 4 players there.
Needed 2 more.
Listen to the Bandit mid, not ideal, but you know, 6-4 we go. KC 2 behind, a map under their belt already, and now, well, what was going to be a very dangerous end to the game with Liquid having a lot of ultimates to use is not that. They've used all their ultimates for a round loss, so KC,
hey, they survived the round before, you know.
Okay, they used 3 ultimates.
They won that round in a 4v2.
3 ultimates for a round loss against Pistols.
Yeah, it's not great.
Suboptimal.
2 right. This is the Liquid copium, all right? I'm giving it 4. Oh dear. Okay, Camo's honestly, he's been the most aware player in the server. Like, he's always been the one watching, like, nah, someone can push that. I think maybe he's played enough against Levin to know that that can be the case. And Levin has been shut down a lot. Like, he's been making some heavy gamble plays, and he hasn't been, well, he has this ability that allows him to fall back. And I don't think I've seen him do that
Tom,
once.
I have to say, it's the most predictable thing ever. You get a 13-2 on the board. Do you think Levin's going to be over-peaking in the next map? Absolutely. I think you got a 5-0 on the board. I think Levin's going to be over-peaking. Because he's one of those players that has the capacity to hit this switch, flip it, and go, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. And I'm going to fight you everywhere. The problem is, I think sometimes you need to leave that switch a little longer. Sometimes you need to
30 seconds left.
get that little bit of respect over.
Someone else needs to control the switch, basically.
But maybe you'd extinguish his flame. That's a close call with Minibu getting onto the site. But Shados is keeping at least a little bit of control. Oh, back here! Goodness gracious.
Wow, the trade's good. Purpo was just behind. Wayne's definitely been struggling, stunned in the corner, and his teammates eventually there, but it's only going to be the trade. Dosia. I think he's faked the fact that he's dropped down. That was the goal. Trying to sell the idea that he's already moved, and actually, Nats, there we go. Nats finally where he's like, I think he might be playing games with me, and is eventually watching the right direction. 7-4. Liquid extending that lead a little bit further, but it does feel like in a lot of these moments, Casey, they've tried these sort of like really aggressive, like let's just walk through a smoke play, and every single one of them has pretty much failed.
Well, yeah, I mean, they'll lead. If this ends up 7-5, you can point to the fact that we had that ult coming out of Levin in mid, and then we have
let's go, boys.
whatever
Good
that
job.
play just was of the walk through the smoke. Like, we have little mistakes, little overheats, but again, the only way you find out if it's an overheat or not usually is by overheating. It's by losing the round, by making those mistakes.
You're only throwing rounds if you lose the round.
Exactly. And let's see if they tighten up the...
That's a terrible mantra. No one lived by that mantra.
All my ranked teammates do.
Oh, GP up top. Just up used in slow motion. Oh dear. Oh, Minibu can make it past. He can get past, and oh, there you go. He's found Dosia. He's also died, but hey, it's worked out, and they have a man advantage already. 2 down. 11. There's the double. But the trade back, Purpo just keeps spraying the same angle, and Aves ends up walking into it. Shados the only one left. A 1 versus 2. He's definitely had his moments in this game, but in a post plant with Wayne and Purpo,
Spike planted.
I think there'd need to be a bit of a mistake. He's still got both flashes online. He's heard Purpo. He knows exactly where the first one is. His teammate's a little bit further away, and he will clear it out. There's that little bit of Shados magic. He didn't even need the util, just pure skill.
When you talk about that old roster, the Gambit, the Mag, this is not
This
the
is
player
what he
you think
did.
of.
Don't even try.
In modern day, this guy seemed lost, but a Red Bull clutch. They're back on the map and back 2 rounds away from Team Liquid. After a strong start, Liquid cooled off. Now KC are catching up. Let's see the end of this story. If it's on Split or Breeze will be decided after the break.
Hey!
Hey, Tom.
Alberto was looking for you, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, you better get that
Okay,
quick.
I'll go check.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Tom Biz. You've had your fun. It's my turn.
I just love that back in the day, the highlight for me with that Gambit roster was always Defo, the one that have made it to this level. But maybe one day, I hold out hope we'll see him on that stage. 7-5 though. It's talking about these two boys. They were there back then and they're back here now. Nat's been on the scene for a while, but Shados, well, at the time, I rated Defo higher. But anyways, Shados was you know, I think undersold a little this year. He had a tough time in a previous team here in VCT EMEA, but look at him go now. This map feels like there's a bit of a grudge. It feels personal.
Yeah, of course, these are the stats coming out from the last map, but these are two teammates that, well, they are known for that squad many years on. I think Nats has made it to plenty of international events, but it was the victory that came while under Gambit all the way back in 2021 when many will have considered them to be the best team in the world. The pieces have definitely branched off with a couple. I think Redgar's still playing within the tier 2, at least here and there. We've seen bits and pieces from Defo, but it is this sort of trifecta, or more importantly, the duo. I'd say Nats and Chronicle have had the sort of the tier 1, the top of the
100%.
The cream of the crop, you would say. And Shados is looking to make his way back, and well, it's in a similar vein to what Nats did. Go into that leadership role, try and take over, go back to Eng, the man that sort of gave him that success in the first place. Now, he sort of said it himself during the interview with Ginny earlier that this is going to be Kickoff almost used to test things. I think they'll have slightly higher expectations like that. You're always going to say that to maybe take off the pressure a little bit, but this is really a test of if he is that leader after all.
Certainly seems like he's got a lot to bring to the table. He's found himself the opening here, at least the trade back with Camo down and Wayne falling. Nats creeping through heaven, hasn't cleared, and Zagetsu,
Do it.
He's thinking about it. Oh, he hasn't gone for the knife, but you can't blame him. A 4 versus 2. This pistol will set KC up to equalize, to put things level, and they are not giving it even a snowball's chance in hell of slipping. Locked in till the very end as Purpo stands alone, challenged from all sides, and dropped from 1. It's Shados again to draw our eyes, a 2K and a 6th round for the squad that he's leading. 1 away from equalizing, and Jumpy and Eco.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an odd one so far, because I definitely feel like there's been a lot of opportunities for KC to almost be in the lead if it wasn't for some of those like hyper-aggressive mid-pushes that they were going for. And so I'm intrigued to see now going onto the attack side that they'll almost have a little bit more control of the pace. They won't have to worry so much about being caught from behind. And also the fact is, like, obviously this is Wayne's first time on that tier 1 stage. It's definitely not been the debut of Dreams. To be a little bit harsh, maybe find him and put the pressure on.
I mean, last map he had 1 less than Miniboo in the end, so this could be where he has that uptick. But it was definitely a very, very slow start. Same can be said here for Liquid. I like the stack. They've got the numbers in the right place, and the shots don't land for Levin. He is miles ahead of the rest of the team. He's now given them an outlaw when 3 players are 1 shot to it, and also he had an outlaw, but it's fine. It's fine. Well, that's the B contact play against Ecos.
I'm pretty sure he had, like, maybe we can check in the review. I think he had Refract online. I think he just didn't use it.
He fired 2 shots of an outlaw and looked at them. Maybe he couldn't find the key.
But that's the problem with him playing Waylet. He might as well just play Jet because he's not using the util to escape. And especially when you have that gun that can one-shot everybody other than Dosia, you can't be doing that. Well, we'll see. Will it come back to bite KC? Maybe not. You look at the positions of those defenders. It's going to be difficult to get back in.
If he overextends here, though, get one, get out, get one, get out, get him. Get out. Oh my goodness. They got that rifle and numbers were even, Tom. I think I might jump the wall. Get down to the stage, call my own tactical pause, we'll have a chat. Luckily, Team Liquid don't pick up too much, and the one big worry has, well, changed hands now. Purpo quick to pick that up. Thought it might have been a little too far forward.
Purpo's always been very good with a sniper.
What do I say?
The conversation about who's playing Duelist, we found out last week it was Miniboo and Purpo, and then now we've got Camo playing it. And that's the problem. Like they have so many players who can play that role. I do think that Camo last week, I was quite impressed with his initiator, something that we hadn't really seen too much of in the past. So I'm glad to see it. Oh wait, so it runs out here. He just decides to stick around longer. Okay. So it did run out before the first shot, but I also feel like there's a level of just leave before that.
It's kind of a pacing issue at that point, you know, from you to give that much space and let it run out like that. Because, you know, even if you get those, well, if you get the 2, it's actually not, you know, it's not as bad, but they're still probably getting an outlaw in the trade. risk takers, but I think we've seen it a few times. A team need a halftime pause, get the ice bath out, stop them overheat. I like this early play from KC. They've gotten a lot of control, but what are they going to do with it? And now they've lost Sugetsu as well. That Viper wall that's taken a lot of info out of the hands of the defenders towards the A site. No longer in play. Where do we go now?
Oh, straight into Purpo. I think Levin actually jumped over the top of his head, and they both ended up going down for it. A really good response from him, and Adosius trying to create a tunnel, create a gap, and he does exactly that. Wayne found. There's so much damage done.
Last
timing
player
here. It doesn't work out for Shados. It almost gave the game away with the piece of utility placed, but it doesn't matter in the end. Liquid keep 4 standing. Sure, it was a bonus round, but a very costly one.
We'll be right back on the ball, but it's this, man. It's that you already lose your player playing towards A, and look at the position Sugetsu died in. It was through his own wall. Like, as in, he had walked through. He's on the side of it, looking for a battle. They lose that, fair enough. Sometimes opening duels don't go your way, but that small little mistake to not clear that close corner down in Vents, that's what cost them the round. Now, Mike pulls back out, but the spams are deadly. Levin's down to 20 HP. His regen shields at least bring him back to 45, but with no heal online for Shados, there'll be no recovering that Aves. I think some of that's decay, right?
Well, that was the thing I was thinking initially. Is this decay? No, it's not. They've actually just been spammed into oblivion. Yeah, sure, these last couple of bits of HP might be, but yeah, he's not going back up past 20, I don't think. So basically, dead man walking already.
Two, yeah. Aves and Levin are both easily dealt with here. That's tough, man. For Liquid, it all comes down to just spamming an orb. They spam an orb, they almost take 2. They take 1 immediately, almost take 11. Aves faces the same fate when he comes back out to help. And you've got to save. There is genuinely nothing they could have done.
The question for me is, when do Liquid start hunting? Because at this stage, you're not thinking that they've just given up on the round, because a lot of it's going to be unconfirmed damage. You don't know that you've hit all of them to this low.
Left.
So you're not going to be pushing until basically it gets to maybe the 10, maybe even the 5-second mark. And then you even have to start questioning whether you want to do it at all. Just keep your economy very strong. You haven't been able to build up too much just yet, even with the last 4 players staying alive. So yeah, for Liquid, this is fantastic. Like, sure, you would have loved to kill those other 2 off,
10 seconds
but
left.
realistically, you get a huge boost to your economy on the defense. You make a couple of orbs here and there as well. And, well, KC have basically just been slaughtered in these first couple of rounds.
Yeah, I like this safety from Team Liquid. I think this gives them a lot more wiggle room as we move throughout the rest of the map. They can afford to lose a round, still buy right back up, and it comes off of chance. Giving themselves the chances, sure, granted.
This is a great replay, by the way. It's showing how all of them saw absolutely nothing and have just been almost killed.
What do you do from any player there? It's great streak denial from Liquid. Like I said, you win 1 round for KC, you gotta go again. There's gonna be rifles. And Liquid with a 2-round lead already to play with. They're setting themselves up to close this one out. Their map pick, their defense, one that's being challenged. Early nade is good. It's gonna cancel the dog. It's gonna send KC back. And now they're pretty much all in on this A play. Gonna be moving towards it. Straight into heaven. And the rotate's underway from Nats. He'll be here to support Purple by the time the push comes through.
C's thrown just to make sure that that extra little bit of time can be bought. Nats also with a snake bite available. Now the worry, Levin has been having a rough time so far. And a lot of his job on this side of the map is to just get them that little bit of extra space into the site. They've only got that solo duelist to do so. Gives them an abundance of utility to play with. And there it goes, but immediately, snake bite used. All of these players left vulnerable and still just kind of stuck in the mud.
It was a good flash from Shados to get them into heaven. But now they've got to get on the site. I know smokes are going to fade towards the spawn. I'm not sure how much time is left on them. Purple and Camo have gone down. Purple was through the smoke. That was just a straight spam, possibly a run and gun. And now a 5v3. This looked like such a difficult scenario for KC to get boots on the ground, spike planted. But now it should be a formality. Liquid need a hero to step up to the plate, or a mistake to be made, and it's them making the mistake. A reload alone. It's easily punished by Sugetsu, and even with that return, 2v4 is too much.
Yeah, they've got the credits to play with if they wanted to try and make this one nice and costly, but you can see Wayne has already ducked away.
I like it.
Nats probably realizing that, okay, they could have actually had some Bevan control, so just making sure that when he does get out of here, it's by the last second. That's gorgeous, though! Almost takes down the entirety of that KC roster. We mentioned it, the Shaders should know this man's always lurking in the darkness, but that's a lot of additional damage that ultimately doesn't come at much cost for Liquid at all.
And that was the game plan there. The call was made. Wayne's going to save. Nats isn't staying behind by accident. Yeah, it was run and gun, exactly. Nats wasn't staying behind by accident. He knew that if they are allowed to save 4 weapons, then they get that little bit of economy boost. Then they can lose around and still buy back up, but we've got to beat them twice. Well, why not take that fight now? Risk a weapon. If I lose it, who cares? I can still buy. We're comfortable. And instead, we keep their economy honest. That is a brilliant play by Nats, and it doesn't win them the round. KC still closing the distance, but that is the difference between an injection of cash and a real propulsion back into the game, and now a cautious approach.
One off Viper's pit as well. He's gained himself 4 orbs from that fight, so it really held his value. For Wayne, great. Cosmic Divide. Good for a retake, but they haven't really had too many of those! Sugetsu!
Your trail.
A solo push, and now, well, the Seekers are going to go out and realize that there wasn't really much else here. Camo has managed to TP in towards the backside. Rotation coming through as well from Miniboo.
There's another.
There's also a lurk on the other side of the map from Dosia. And maybe hearing some of the steps. The thing is, the steps were kind of fake. Well, literally, it was the fake out that was sent through with Camo that they might have heard. That might just sell a ruse that ends up causing them more problems than it does saving them. It just depends on what direction Miniboo goes in. He's still got the paint shells, but he's expecting maybe now that this is A, especially with the flashes coming through on that side of the map. Wayne has got everything to do.
Oh, they've spotted him. The stun landed as well. Wayne's hindered. He makes himself a bit of a hindrance.
It's a flank.
Miniboo has a bit of time. Wayne survived that second or two longer, and that might be what gets him this pick. Shados and Doja.
Grenade.
Shados is on the ramp. The flank of the flanker. Doja now just has to stay alive. Doja just has to buy time, and Shados should have a freebie up against Nats calling on the other side. He's giving him a taste of his own medicine. Oh, no way! They suspected it! Nats called it, perhaps. He's playing my own game. I don't know how they figured that one out, but hell yeah, double digits on the board for the defense. Just in the nick of time, Liquid have saved themselves from what could have been a real headache.
I can only assume it was issue like, well, we've checked everything else. We've looked everywhere else.
And why is he not helping his teammate?
Why is he not playing on the cross? There's only one place left he can be. And he was so close to killing off Miniboo as well. That's a back and forth rounds of sorts, and some solid individual brilliance to buy them that extra little bit of time. 10-8, a much closer map, but this is the problem. We spoke about those 3 kills coming in for Nats in the last round. This is the damage it's done.
We just saw the toast flying that Sugetsu's headshot percentage was about 46%.
It's pretty good.
It's gone down by 2 in this series now. He's averaging 44, so...
washed.
Oh, yeah, I mean, got to get back on aim labs, honestly. Yeah, these pistols for KC should spell defeat. Viper's pit. Viper.
He heard you. I think, is that the 2% back?
Viper could change the game completely as Aves comes through and completely overhauls the favor. Team Liquid 3 versus 5. They've lost 2 opening duels to a Sheriff, one of which was on possibly the longest angle it could have been towards A. And Purpo, as a response, is now pushing against the Eco. Luckily, he got spotted. Otherwise, he would have been dealt with in at least a trade.
Now it's just the timing of everything surrounding Purpo. Yeah, they've seen him, and thus they're going to try and just close him in. They're checking nice and, well, avidly this time.
Flash Shados.
Jump down. There's the flash. Still got the information. Purpo's on the angle. There isn't a push coming from the other side, but it doesn't matter. Aves, well, even better.
30
nice
seconds
work from
left.
Miniboo. And in fact, they're starting to bring this one back. Minibu found a second. Now it's all falling apart. They're actually going to clutch this one out. It might have only been pistols, but even still, impressive stuff from Liquid to recover from what was a horrific scenario.
Pistols in 2 opening duels, and they isolate your third player with 5 surrounding him. Yeah, they did incredibly well to get out of that situation. The fact that a flash from Shados had popped on top ramp, and Aves still was holding that, was still clearing it, you'd think that if he dodged it, he was behind the box. Not that he was cooked in on that wall, but...
Let's go, boys! Keep this shit up!
Luckily, they realized in time the danger that was presented to them. 3 rounds in it. And honestly, I never want to see that man be on the receiving end of a 13-0. I don't, like, they've been winning games and he looks like he's 2-0 down. Like he's leaving the stage with his head low.
I do. I think Zycius over the last year or so, maybe a little bit longer, has just become my favorite person to watch in there. It's like, I don't know if you've seen it in football where they lock fans in a room and they just show them little bits of the game. They don't show them what's actually, they don't show them the score, they don't show them anything that's going on, just certain reactions, or maybe there's a foul in the game. I think you could just watch Zysh and you would have no idea what was going on in the game.
Yeah,
They'd be winning 13-1 and he'd have like lost his mind somewhere in the middle. You just show that clip like, oh no, we're getting battered. Wait, what? It's its own form of entertainment. People watching, they say, but he is a very specific person that's fun to watch. I also miss Barber very much.
He's got that passion on and off the server as well. That's the thing. You hear it when you talk to him outside of the game, and you certainly see it when he's down in that coaching booth. Time ticking as the barriers are about to go up, and KC looking to close it out here, but it's quite a road ahead of them. Liquid have managed to connect a few big rounds, and on 11, they stand in the way of KC's victory here in regulation with just 1 more round win. A slow approach, the drone sent through mid, but KC are going to have a big burst out on this A site. The question is, can they thin the herd before they get there? Will they even have some aggression coming their way? Look at Camo, he's posted up.
Ooh, maybe going a little bit far. The Tiger's going to force him back. Now he does have some drift available. Might even be the time to use it just to try and get out of there. TP has been popped. Smoke. Oh, it's beautiful! Purpo's util alongside the smoke just gives him a free kill, and then the rest of the team swarm into the site. Minibu even takes the fight while low on HP. They are pumped up, confident, and well, after the last map, Liquid, they're back.
Phenomenal utility put through by Wayne as well, giving him that little bit of space to hide inside it. Great timing on the reveal. Good position for it not to be broken either. I mean, it was just quite a simple throw. I wasn't sure if it landed on top or not. But all in all, that is textbook. They were put under so much pressure so quickly. They had just rotated off the site. Camo was alone. He falls back from the dog, and how quick they are to set him up with that little safe haven is the reason that Liquid end up with this round.
Yeah, really nice stuff. 12-8. The map of Breeze looking likely, and I think at least in the first half, looked like KC had quite a fair few opportunities. I guess even in this one, they've had some moments where it felt like they could turn the game, but Liquid have managed to come out on top. And well, just look at the ults they've got. Viper's Pit's already used. Dimensional Drift available, which again, if it comes down to a retake, that in combination with the Nightfall or the Cosmic Divide, they've got so many tools on their belt. And on the other side, sure, Viper's Pit and what will now be the Convergence Path. That time has been ticking. They could use it to try and force out Nats, but that's a gamble. And I think instead, looks like they're going to go back towards the A side, but this won't leave them with a hell of a lot of time.
And they've left Liquid with a hell of a lot of utility as well. This is what I said earlier on. It feels like sometimes KC, especially on Split, they play this game so slow, and we saw it. At
they Nightfall now.
30 seconds left.
One of the first convincing rounds they got in their last matchup was exactly like this. They played so late. They had 20 seconds left when they pushed into the A site. They were facing off against utility. In fact, there were already 3 players here, and they managed to win it. This time, KC have an ultimate to work with, but there's so many players here. The rotation's already coming through. Nats is going to be alongside Camo in the reinforcements. Minibu's found 2, and in goes the rocket to seal in a third. Nade as time runs out, and the late lurk of Doja. Well, it's going to be coming through by the time map 3 starts.
Defenders win.
We are all the way onto Breeze, a third map in this series after a 13-2 decimation by KC on Abyss. Liquid bounce back on their map pick.